right. Welcome to Get in the Game. This is our second episode. Very excited to be here tonight. Uh-oh, did we lose the... Are we good? Okay. So thank you for joining us for Get in the Game. Second episode. Tonight's episode is about let's get your sex game up tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's all about getting your sex game up, and we have two experts in the building. I'm going to let them introduce themselves in just a few minutes, but we're going to get started with a little bit of news. There's some news going on that we definitely need to talk about, and I know Fat, you'll have an expert opinion.
All right.
I'm sure on a lot of this.
About this?
Yeah, definitely about this. I want y'all to welcome Fat Pimp is hanging out again tonight. Mr. King of Diamonds is here.
I'm off work tonight.
So he's here kicking it with us. So thank y'all for joining us. I do want to let y'all know that we do have something special for our Facebook people that are on Facebook and that are watching us right now. We do have a special gift bag. Where's the gift bag? We have a special gift bag for our Facebook people. I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but this is a gift bag that we'll be giving away towards the end of the show. And you're going to have to answer a question, okay? So make sure you stick around. Stay tuned into the podcast so that you can answer the question and win your very own Get in the Game pack. Okay?
I might need to pack myself.
Yeah, definitely. But we're going to get started with some news. Your good friend, Fat, Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, man.
Acted a fool at the St. Patrick's Day Parade over the weekend.
Yeah.
I love the St. Patrick's Day Parade. It's one of the best events that we have here in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Everybody comes out. Everybody gets, really drunk at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? They come with Jello. Man, I've been to the parade, and they, throw in Jello shots at you and all kinds of stuff. So it's a really fun time. But I think Ezekiel Elliott had a little bit too much fun. He had too much turn up at the St. Patrick's Day Parade this week as he exposed a woman's breast during the parade. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times.
You had to watch it twice?
I had to analyze it.
That is my boy. He played for the Ohio State University.
Oh, okay.
The Buckeyes in the building,
There you go.
So yeah, I think, it's a lot of fun at the St. Patrick's Day Parade. There's, everybody's having a good time. But he caught some real flack for exposing this one. Now, when I saw the video, it looked like that she had done it first herself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then she kind of didn't want him to do it, and then he did expose her breast. And it looked like it was fun and games. Now, a statement was, made, and she actually partied with him afterwards. Yeah, so there wasn't no hard feelings. Yeah, so everything was all good. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're not going to not party with him because your tatas was out, right? You know what I'm saying? You've done more, but so he had a good time at the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Have you ever done that? And is it have you ever done that and somebody did not appreciate it?
Mardi Gras.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mardi Gras.
Tell the story. Tell the story. I want to know.
I'm learning as I get older, I'm learning to kind of let the women take control because as a young male, sometimes your hormones could kind of push you to do things you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And when you get on Bourbon Street for the very first time, you seeing all this stuff, you don't know what you can and can't do. You might grab a girl's titties, and you know how New Orleans police is. They don't play by it.
No, they do not
playing.
They do not play.
But as you get older, you kind of learn that just assess each situation is different.
Yeah.
We be on the road doing shows. You might have girls on stage, twerking, have their dress come up, but if you touch them, they might get mad. So I learned to just kind of, hey, I ain't touching.
But when you start doing the Maserati, you know what I'm saying, and they backing that ass up on the stage.
Don't touch them.
Don't touch them.
Don't touch them. You catch lawsuits.
It's still their bodies.
It's still their bodies. It's still their bodies. We got two young ladies that are joining us during tonight's Get in the Game podcast. I'm going to let them introduce themselves before we go into some more news. I got my girl, Theresa. If you'll run down your wonderful credentials, Miss Theresa.
My name is Theresa Braddy. I'm with Boutique Talk Counseling. You can find me at boutiquetalkcounseling.com. I have been doing therapy for over 20 years. I do specialize in sexuality. I have worked many different things, so do a lot of therapy with individuals who've been raped, who are questioning, who are having intimacy issues.
And you mean questioning, like they're questioning their sexuality? Okay.
Sexuality. I've dealt with couples who have just lost their fire. And I've done also some oral sex classes. Yeah.
You teach that? Yeah. Yes. She gets some help for that one.
Most men want to pay for the class for their women, so we just do that.
Well, did you get a lot of women this week? Because today is Steak and BJ Day, which I just found out about this, and we're going to talk about more about this later.
It is.
But did you have some ladies hit you up over the weekend?
No, I did not. So I don't really promote it a lot because I do try to stay with the therapy piece of it.
Right.
But that's when I want to have fun. That's what I get to do. So people hire me to come in and do it, and I come in and do it, and we have fun.
Okay, all right. We might have to schedule something, girl. We might have to schedule something.
Same thing. I'm like, ooh, okay.
I got my girl Monique Braggs here. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay,
Hi,
great.
you all. Well, I'm Monique K. Braggs. I am a licensed professional counselor intern. I'm not as seasoned as Miss Theresa over here. She's 20 years in the game. I'm about 4 going on 5. So my perspective on things is probably a little bit different. She's got a lot going on, and I like that. I like seeing a sister that's been seasoned in the game.
Already.
I like how she said season.
Yes.
So
Keep me young.
So I am a counselor at New Horizon Counseling in North Richland Hills, and I'm about to venture into my own thing, which is doing in-home therapy. So look out for that.
So you can come to somebody's house
Yes, I'll be
and
coming
help
to
them
homes.
with their sexual
So like
issues.
Ezekiel, give me a call so I can help you. I will come to you. I will come to you. So we can get you back on track.
Okay, so he just won't be grabbing titties.
He must see that. He barely.
But he
And
might
if
be
you're
partial
gonna
to me
grab them,
because of
yeah.
the Ohio State University. When you get that plug again.
If you're gonna grab them, we're gonna teach you how to do it, in an appropriate manner. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Well, we are very excited to have these ladies join us. If you're just now joining us, I want to shout out a couple people that's joined us. Bobby Nick, shout out to you. Tim Miller. Sarah said that's hers. What? Oh, she talking about the bag. Yes, we are giving away. We are giving away a special treat to our Facebook followers tonight. Oh, what's up? We got another special guest that just walked in, and we'll have to get him on the Facebook Live in just a minute. But we are giving away this special Get in the Game pack tonight. So make sure that you stay tuned to what's going on. We're going to ask a question later on in the podcast and be giving this away to somebody that's watching on Facebook right now. So thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to move on to our second piece of news that I just found out. About this, we talked about it a little bit earlier on the last podcast about a smart condom. There's a new smart condom.
Yeah.
We've been wanting to talk about this for a while.
Yes. We postponed this one. Okay,
I don't know if y'all have heard about the smart condom. Okay, but the smart condom is a condom that is like a Fitbit. For down there. So basically, the condom is equipped with a nano chip and sensors to measure different things about your love-making sessions. Now, it measures stuff like the calories you burn during sex. It also monitors how many thrusts and your speed of the thrust. Why are you laughing, Pat?
I think that would be intimidating.
I'm really like,
That's just too
I had a
much.
girl count my strokes before.
Really?
Yes.
During sex?
Like, no, we was done. She was like, yeah, that was about 29 strokes.
What?
Only 29?
Yeah.
It was good to you.
He said only 29.
You see, I'm keeping it honest, though. You see, that's going to tell the truth.
That's going to tell the truth. The
Wow.
smart condom is called an Icon. Okay,
Icon.
it's called an Icon. It's coming out. The Brits are putting this out, and it'll be available real soon. It's going to retail for about $50, but it's also going to give you how many possessions you have used in a week, a month, and a year. So there's no more same. There's no more same position. You gotta switch it up because
And this condom tells everything.
this condom tells it
But
all.
are people really interested in knowing that?
That's what I'm wondering.
Do you feel like you would be interested
No,
in that?
I don't have an ego when it comes to that.
Okay, but you can share these stats across the world and compare.
I don't want to share those stats. What if what they have like a chart?
shared your
No,
29.
you know what I'm saying? What if they have a chart and it's like the top person had like 1,000 strokes, you know, and then I'm all the way at the bottom with 29 strokes.
It's gonna be an app on Facebook. I do believe that.
Somebody gonna put that. Somebody gonna put it on the internet. It's gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings.
For real, yeah, because it's definitely going to tell the truth. But like I said, it's called the Smart Condom. So if you want to order one, which when it's available here in the U.S., I'm definitely going to order it because Fat has to try it out. Because you got to try it out.
I told you
Are
I
you
tried.
willing to try
I
it?
told you I wanted to
But
try.
on a serious note, if it's some dysfunction that's going on, that would be very helpful and when you go back to your doctor to get that information because you
Right.
don't know what's going on. So
I don't have no dysfunction. That big works just
the
fine.
person who does would,
Yeah,
and so they can
yeah.
see if they're coming soft at the third stroke,
Or
you know,
if they can
whatever.
even get it up to get the first stroke going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that would help.
So and it would help for you for what you do as well because you could clearly see the problem.
Exactly.
This is going to make a lot of men very
And
upset.
maybe
Yeah.
we can even teach them how to prolong it if they're quick. So that might be something that might be beneficial in the long time. That's why I say for dysfunctional things, I can see how beneficial it would be. But just to get the information, I think that's a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Because just think, we as women. Well, I know that a lot of women, I don't, but a lot of women do fake it. So if we were having some kind of device that was telling whether we were having an orgasm or not, that might be a little bit too much too. So
yeah,
I can see.
I definitely cannot wait till it's available here in the U.S. because we just got to see how it actually.
Do you
functions.
feel like you'll incorporate it into your life?
You know what? I might at least one time because I think you always want to
Just
know.
try something
Ask
and
your
just to
husband.
see. Yeah.
See, we want to know, but does your husband want to know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In your life, we just gotta throw him in.
He said, because I can perform.
Because see, and at the end of the day, we want to break records here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Our last name.
You can incorporate it into sexual games, fun, have a good time
I
with
can see
it.
that.
Yeah.
See,
The
that would be So
Okay,
what
that means
kind
we
of-
all participating in.
What kind of games, like things like
Who can? I don't know. Who can go the longest?
if you can break your record from the time before?
Yeah.
How many times is she going to come during my 5 strokes?
So it tells you how many times she comes?
No, but she can tell you when you were doing your strokes.
If she's not faking it.
Yeah.
See, that's the hard
okay.
part. How do we know if they faking?
See, that's
Well, I
why.
know.
See, this is what I say about women. You cheating yourself. So if you're faking it, you're cheating yourself. So get it together. You have to learn your body.
Are you telling me a lot of women fake their orgasms?
Oh hell
Yes.
yes!
Oh.
Was I supposed to? say
Yes.
I need to know these things.
You weren't supposed to tell it, nah. No, but yeah,
And
it
they
does
fake it
happen.
for many different reasons because it is harder for a woman to have an orgasm. So
You know what? We were talking about this earlier today, and I'm of the belief that men think that women have to orgasm in order to
Be
feel
satisfied.
to be satisfied. That's what men think, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you would think?
Yeah.
But it's
That's what I
not
was
true.
taught. That's what I was taught. My dad was like, "Don't leave no woman unsatisfied in the bed, or another nigga will." You know?
Well, that was a good thing that he
Satisfied.
taught you because
Yeah.
you got a lot of men out here that are all about self-satisfaction.
Yeah, man, I can't
So
relate to it.
that's a good thing for your grandfather that taught you that.
I mean,
Appreciate
that's
that.
great, but it don't always happen that way.
No, it doesn't.
And it doesn't mean that if you don't reach a point of an orgasm that you're not satisfied.
Satisfying, right.
Well, tell us.
and sometimes we want to satisfy you,
Yeah.
and we're good. That makes us satisfied. So.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't even have to have the penis and vagina interaction to be satisfied either.
Yeah.
Damn.
Intimacy is very important.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit more about that later, definitely.
Oh, okay, we're
Because
gonna dive
we
into-
have to talk about other ways besides just sex.
and vagina.
Yeah,
Yes.
because we're trying to get our game up sexually.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we got to learn these things. So another thing that has surfaced in the news, of course, today is Steak and BJ Day. Now I just found out what this was, literally 2 days ago. I had no clue that there was such a day.
Yes.
But evidently, there's 2 myths on how this day came about. The first myth is that back in 1945, President Truman had the FBI spread the word of this day as the troops were coming back from war, and so it was their welcome home, from war. So that was kind of how.
I questioned that for 1940s, but okay.
Yeah, that's what it said. That's what it said, and then it also was something that was done back in the Roman times. But I'm not so sure, I don't know. Would they be eating steaks at that time? I don't know. Well, it is alive and well today, the Steak and BJ Day. And basically, it is what it is. You know, men felt kind of left out at Valentine's Day because women get all the cards and the candy and all the romantic stuff. So they wanted a day for themselves. And it is what it is. You cook him a steak and you know what I'm saying, give him a good BJ and he's happy.
Make sure it's a good one, though.
Well, they have to come to you for that. They have to come
because what I always say about oral sex, if you do not want to do it or you don't like it, just don't do it because it's just not satisfying. It's more irritating than anything because they can feel that. It's translated in your performance.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, just don't do it. Just be good at whatever you like to do. So if you like to ride the hell out of it.
There's a lot of women that don't enjoy
exactly.
Not at all.
Head?
They don't like it.
They don't like it.
But they'll
Have you
try
ever had one?
I had one on like 6.
Could you tell?
Yeah, I had one that didn't even like having sex.
Really?
How did you handle that?
Cheat.
Oh.
Shit, man. We're gonna just keep. I'm keeping it honest at all times.
So do you? Because we're talking about women who don't like to have oral sex. So how do you feel about maybe she was still down with everything else, but wasn't down for the oral sex part?
I was cool with not getting head because, I mean, I don't even like head that much.
Okay.
I like it's a control thing with me.
What?
Yeah, I got
Really?
shit, man. Say.
I thought it was every man that was like.
Oh no.
No. I like fuck.
And that's the
one.
One. If you don't leave here. So you have to really understand who you're dealing.
Traveling along that other road as well.
It's
Right.
different fetishes, man. You know.
Yeah.
Or for me, I can take the head, but I mean I don't have to have it. Okay. I don't have to have it.
Well,
You like to be in
Because
control.
we're getting our
Right,
sex
be in
game
control.
up, so is that nothing you would be interested in, trying to let your woman explore in other areas?
Fuck no, I don't do that shit.
He's like, no, and
Listen,
no.
man, we have a.
You said your sex game is going up, but not that far up.
Nah,
Okay.
Not in that direction.
No,
in
it's
that
not, but it's
direction.
not like that.
It is for me.
If for you it is.
That's
oh,
a
I feel
danger
you.
zone.
And some men are like
Yeah,
that.
some men, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, like
Some men.
even when they're going down in the balls and they might get right up
Get
on
a
the
little bit.
gooch, the little gooch
Little
area.
too-
I'm like, whoa. But I got some people I know that like that though.
Yes.
Yeah.
But are they?
No, they ain't gay. They
They
just,
like-
I mean, my.
If you understand the anatomy of it, especially if you're going towards the butt, it's usually because they're stimulating the prostate. The prostate gives a different orgasm. So that's why people like it, if they go there.
Man.
It's not your prostate's not interested.
I think it's just important that you communicate with your partner on what it is that you do like. And we're going to talk about some ways how you
Absolutely.
can communicate with your partner better and let them know what you. Because we got some people that just tuned in. Shout out to Joe that is tuned in right now. And shout out to Billy Bowes. What's up, Billy Bowes? He said Bernie Mac said 50 pumps minimum. He said Bernie Mac said game up fat. We're gonna work
That one,
on
hold on.
the
I didn't say that's my regular. I just said, man, this particular girl that I used to mess around back in the day, we ran into each other, and she had been living a different lifestyle. So
so she wasn't always.
she wasn't like a good girl no more. She was out in the streets.
Oh, okay.
And when you want to talk about an ego killer,
Wow.
because when I got done, I'm used to her, being like, laying there. She was kind of like, damn, my nigga. She said, you was 29 strokes. And I'm like, hey, don't judge me. It might not have been 29. It might not have been 29, but I remember she counted them. I was just like, damn, like you was counting them? She was like, yeah, I just wanted to count them. I never had sex with her again.
Wow.
I was
Wow.
embarrassed, bro.
Who has time for that? Who has time to in your mind, occupy your mind like that? I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
It was a control.
It
It was a
seems
control
like too
factor.
much.
No, you ain't putting any. Well, I need you to put in right now.
Hey, bro. Like, I was like,
But you
what
might
you-
get that woman that appreciates that man that let off in 3 or 4 strokes. Like, I must be that good.
whatever
to
that.
where,
Hey,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't-
True.
hey,
But
man.
if she wanted you to do more, that was not the way for her to approach it.
I mean, we have been having sex since we were like 17. We was grown. Man.
Yeah.
hey, man, if I ain't got it by now, hey. Maybe our chemistry.
Then it is what it is.
She
It
took
is what it is.
her freak number to another level.
Yeah, she ran me off. She ran me off.
She didn't try to call you enough.
Yeah, I couldn't deal with that one.
Well, we got to talk a little bit about like how sex, in hip hop, there is like an obsession with it. I know, you being in the game, I like a lot of your songs, have sexual undertones, and so are a little bit more than
overtones.
that, or over. But do you think it's important for you to have like keep that as a line of conversation in order to gain fans, in order to get people to like? Is that kind of a must that you have to have something like that on records?
I think it's just growing up. My age group, it was all about being a man, like getting the women. That was what we came up on. Like I grew up on Tupac.
His flow.
I think overall, it just depends on who you are as a person. With me, I don't feel like I have to do it. I just do it because I know I'm entertaining. The type of crowd that I like, the type of women I like to make the type of music when in the club they can forget about all their problems and just get ratchet.
Well, it's funny that you said, like our age, like you growing up, you know what I'm saying, how that was, because now there was a recent study that came out that millennials aren't having sex like, the generation before. Actually having less sex, and some of it has to do with cell phones, social media. They're spending a lot more time. Do you feel like y'all have people that come to you and say that the Facebook is a problem, or social media is a problem, or the phone is a problem in their sex life?
Oh, absolutely. I have they're not being accepted by other peers because they are not may not look as pretty as someone else, or they're seeing all these images coming across, and boys are so into what that looks like, and so just communicating with their peers is just really a hamper on them. Their self-esteem is low. I mean, it's a lot going on when it comes to that. A lot. Mm-hmm. So yeah, cell phones get in the way. It's a lot that gets in the way. Magazines, all these pictures, just everything.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's almost a must for them to have. Mm-hmm. Because that's what everybody is attracted to. You know what I'm saying? They're attracted to that small waist and that big butt. And if you don't have that, you kind of feel inadequate.
Yes, feel inadequate, low self-esteem, feel worthless, all that depression going on. Do
you feel like that's an issue, Fat, with a lot of like your friends and stuff? Do they only go after that? I mean, y'all some big ass, so.
Yeah, yes and no, because a lot of men are intimidated.
But do you have men that come into King of Diamonds is like, do y'all regular girls? Like,
yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, everybody's not going to throw their money on the girl with the biggest booty. They want somebody who they can relate to, who they can feel comfortable approaching.
Right.
Because I think the thing about sex, so I think, especially when you talk about sex, is you have to break the fantasy from reality and the social skills. That's one. Yeah. And so when I think about sex in the totality of what it is, I think of it in three parts. And anytime you have a conflict in any of those three parts, you're going to have conflict in your sexual relationship. And that's the psychological, the physical, and then the spiritual. Spiritual not being a doctrine, but basically where you find balance, your morals, your values, your boundaries is what's in that spiritual. And if any of those areas are in conflict, you will have conflict in your relationship, in your sexual experience.
Right.
Yes.
Right. That is very true. And I want to let y'all know y'all watching on Facebook. No, we have 2 certified sex therapists. Is that the appropriate title, or is the appropriate title sex counselor?
I say I'm a therapist and I specialize in sexuality.
Okay.
I say I'm a therapist and I specialize in sexuality as well as depression and anxiety.
So if y'all have any questions, feel free to let us know what your questions are. You can type them below. We're watching the feed, so y'all can definitely get your questions answered. Now, you know, and in hip hop too, I think sometimes like you see these images, and like you said, like, you know, it's kind of like oversaturation. Like you see it in videos, you see it in movies, you hear it on the radio, you hear it, you know, in all these different places. And so when it comes to you and your man, you know, getting.
Everybody has that firm stomach. Not everybody has the big booty. Not everybody has all of that. So, and I just feel like it's important for couples to communicate and for that man and that woman to make each other feel accepted and feel like no matter what is out there, I like you. I feel you. I love you. I really feel like that's important to validate one another.
I think it's important for men to do that.
Absolutely.
Especially because you walk out and you're you know you're the minority every day if you know you don't have a butt and you know what I'm saying and double D.
You know, one of the things, and I'm going to bring this up, that really disturbs me as far as how the body image is put out there. The station out here is promoting this $10,000 booty giveaway, and it really offended me. It really made me feel like, really, is this what it's come to? So now you're not pouring into people of what they need to be poured into. You're not making them feel like they're okay within themselves of who they are. Right.
That you must change in order to be accepted or to look, you know what I'm saying, to be thought of as a beautiful woman.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right.
So I just like, wow.
Yeah. You know, you may want to, you know, have a surgery, you know what I'm saying, to get the body that you want. But I think that's a personal thing.
Yes.
I really do think that's a personal thing. I don't think that, you know, should be a...
And for that reason, I kind of just tune out.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the African American woman and African American men have been sexualized throughout, from slavery on to the present. So
yes, we have.
The women have been looked at. We have the curves and, you know, our bodies, so we're very sexual. Our masters is raping us. I mean, basically, we have always been sexualized. And then a man, I mean, if I was a black man and I didn't have a really big dick, I would be like insecure because that's what all men are supposed to be. And so I think that looking at sexuality as reality and not the fantasy that the society and the social media puts out there will help people be, because I think that we prohibit ourselves from experiencing things because of all these stereotypes and what we think we're supposed to be.
Right.
And instead of exploring what we are so that you can have the ultimate sexual experience.
Right.
I like
right.
that.
You feeling that? You feeling that one?
I agree with her. I feel like a lot of chicks that I know that get surgery, they never satisfied. Even once they get a job done, they're still never satisfied. That's why you see a lot of them going back. I need this. I need a bigger booty. I need a smaller waist. It's like, you're never going to be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the competition out there. You know, everybody's trying to compete. You know, everybody's trying to get this man. You know, it's a shortage out here. So everybody.
That body type, you know, an African American woman's body type was not popular. It was not seen as something of beauty,
No,
and it wasn't
Back in
until
slavery, it was. I can't even think of the picture, but there was a woman and her body was curvaceous, and it was always out there for women. So we have always been either put as mammy, so we are not sexually, we're asexual, or been really, really, really sexual exposed. So I think that, you know, now, yes, it's going to the extreme.
Yes.
Now, I'm not sure why, but what dudes always tell me is we always like the booty, Theresa.
Yeah.
But it's natural, so.
Yeah.
In its natural state.
you know, at the same time, it wasn't until like other ethnicities started to copy that,
Right.
you know,
More accepted.
and now it's like now it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? And why wasn't it a thing before? You know, that would be my my question, you know, for people. But you know, it is what it is, and at the end of the day, of you know, our own people with it, and women, we have to love our bodies for what they are.
For what they are.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything.
And I would appreciate it when the men started to appreciate our
Yes.
bodies.
Why
for
do
what
you
we
think
have.
that is? That some men because I know you got a lot of partners, you know what I'm saying? And y'all have, you know, all different types of women that y'all find attractive. But why is it, you know, they may not find just a normal, natural woman as, is that a proper assumption?
Some of them do. You know, nowadays people just like what they like, but I think a lot of it has to do. A lot of people hate themselves. Like a lot of people grow up in poverty. They grow up learning to hate themselves. They don't really have nobody tell them good things about themselves. So they just grow up with this self-hatred, and they push that self-hatred, their energy towards other people.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't. A lot of partners of mine, they don't tell a woman, man, you look beautiful. Just keep them pushing.
Yeah.
They got nothing to do with Instagram. Just tell a woman you look beautiful.
But
man.
sometimes
Right.
women don't take that compliment so well. I've
right.
seen women that you comment on that and they take that as a bad thing. Like they look at the guy like, why are you talking to me? Like, you know, women, we have to take those compliments, you know, and just take them as compliments and don't feel like that man's trying to come on to you. He just is telling you that you're beautiful.
And that
you
comes
know?
with a lot of issues within us too. We got all these trust issues going on. We got our own esteem issues going on. Things that we're not really accepting about ourselves. We don't know, you know, half the stuff that we need to know about ourselves as well. So when a man comes and says something to you, you know, why is he saying this? What's going on? So we definitely got to take a look at ourselves and why we're responding and reacting in the way that we do, which is pushing them off. You know, so.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, something else is, you know, sex is something that we do, and it's sometimes hard for people to talk about sex. So let's talk about talking about sex. Have you ever had a problem, like voicing your opinion to whoever that you're? I mean, because
Like to my partner?
yeah. It's not always easy for me.
It's not frozen here.
Oh, okay. Majority of people. I think majority of women that I've dealt with, it's always been an issue. It's been like maybe one or two that I could actually be openly and say everything that's been on my mind, from getting tested or things you like, you don't like, some of your
Right.
past experiences.
Yep.
A lot of women can't deal with that. Like a woman might ask you, how many sexual partners you had? And I'm like, you want the truth, you want me to lie to you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why
Yeah,
would you ask
that's
that?
yeah.
Right.
You don't
And
want to
don't
ask that
ask them.
question if you don't want the answer. For
Exactly.
sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
some women can handle, some can't. But I think, like we were discussing, you just gotta know what the person's comfortable talking about.
Yeah.
Me, I'm at least try to talk about it.
Yeah.
But if it don't, hey, I'll back out.
Yeah.
Communication is absolutely key in your relationships. You have to let that person know what you're dealing with, what you accept, what you expect, the frequency of how, you know, how much you may want to engage in the activity. You know what I mean? You have to communicate. There's no other way around it.
What
There's
are
no
some of
other
the
way.
reasons why people don't want to talk? What are some of the things that they say to, you know, like,
It's taboo. They don't want to be judged. I think that's the biggest piece.
Fear.
Yeah, fear
Yeah.
of being judged.
Yeah.
but I mean, if you're okay with laying down with this person,
It goes back to childhood, how you were raised. Because just think about it. When you were being raised, how was sex introduced to you? Usually it's not, or if it is, it's usually in a church, and they say you shouldn't do it. Or they're talking about your menstrual cycle, so it's always something that's kind of sex, but you really don't know what it is. So if it's always a taboo for everybody to talk to, why am I going to go into this intimate situation and then talk about something that's even more intimate to me? And I really don't understand it myself. And so I think for me, I think that before I encourage people to understand their sexuality for themselves. So understanding their body so that they can communicate what that means for them. I think the other piece of it is, as individuals, what they do, and this is not only in sex, but it's in communication too, we treat people how we want to be treated, not how the other person wants to be treated. So we go into this sexual relationship saying, okay, I did this with Tracy, or bill or whatever, and so I'm gonna do this with her, and she's gonna love it. And then she's like, okay, what was that?
Treating it like a one-size-fits-all type of,
So that's why if you were, unless it's a one-night stand, I think the sex part starts way before the bed, because you're talking about what you like, what you don't like, what you experience, what makes you feel wanted or needed, what excites you, what your boundaries are, because that's the other part. What are your boundaries? And I think as a person that's in a relationship, if you don't understand the boundaries that you need to set for that other person, it will put you in some positions that you do not feel comfortable with.
Right.
So, and so when you talk to your friends, you can definitely find out, okay, well, her sex number might be up here, so I might not be here, but I'm willing to, kind of negotiate where we go, where we want to go.
Yeah.
So the communication is definitely king.
Yeah, it is. And I always tell my couples to help one another. If you're not comfortable with speaking to your partner, help that person help you. I'm a big fan of helping me. Help me understand where you're coming from. Help me understand your needs. Help me understand your desires. And vice versa. It's just, for me, just all about helping each other.
Yeah. And you know what, the one thing though too is to know when to have the conversation, because I always think, let's have the conversation right after sex. And they both cringe.
Because I cringe at that, because that's just, that moment is, you're still engaged in whatever, and so right after can really just kind of really, hamper the moment. I think that when you decide to have that conversation, it needs to be on a mutual basis, where the two of you, okay, we may be having dinner, sitting there having drinks, I really want to talk to you about something. Are you open to having a discussion about our sex life right now? However you want to point it out. And just do it. Yeah, I'm open to this conversation right now. What's on your mind? Make sure that we're both in, not where the other person is feeling like they're being attacked. We definitely don't want that. So.
And I think that it depends on when you're talking about sex, because one of the things, when you're having the talk prior to, and I can say to my partner, hey, do you mind if we're having sex and I feel like, okay, I need you to go to the left a little bit more? Do you mind me saying that?
Yeah.
Having those kind of conversations, because once you teach a person what triggers to touch, it's always beneficial. I even so let's say that you don't feel comfortable in talking about sex. There are other things that you can do to get to an even keel with each other. Like, for instance, I do a form where I have just a silhouette of a body, and I have each partner mark what their sensitive spots are, and then I have them mark on another page what they feel that their partner's sensitive spots are, and then they switch it, and they usually do not match. We don't even know what makes our own partner just get it. So, and that's before sex. So that's just touch. So those are some of the things that you can do prior to even getting to the bed to help you get to that point. Because when you get to that point where you're in the bed, that sexual exploration that you both have that you might not ever experience, it will be wonderful because you'll be at ease at that point. So, I think that it starts way before the bed.
Right. So you should be having these conversations, way ahead of time. And do you think it's okay to have this conversation, maybe not, because maybe you're not in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do these conversations play out when you're just dating?
So, I'm writing a book. I disagree.
You think so?
Yes. So I'm writing a book. It's called A Girl Has Needs, but a Woman Knows What She Wants. And in one of the chapters, it talks about the gray area. So the area when you're not really in a committed relationship, but you're having sex. And so that's what I'm saying. So you're not necessarily having sex, but you're going to have that conversation. Now, I won't go into depth about how people do it, but basically, you're still having conversations about what you like, because just jumping in the bed does not always know. Okay, if you're having a one night stand and you're just in this heated moment and you're having some drinks and it goes down.
Yeah.
But
right.
but after that first time, you need to really know what that person likes, because it's not going to continue to be that way. Does that make sense?
Right.
Well,
So-
if you continue with that person, I can see it. But a lot of times, you know, you may be with this person, okay, on to the next. So that's what I see a lot of, you know,
Yeah.
just okay, well, it was what it was, and gone on. Either we can continue to just be friends, and that was that, you know.
But I'm talking about the maintenance man. So the
the
maintenance
okay.
man, I'm
The
not
maintenance
in a
man.
committed relationship, but
Okay.
he's my maintenance man. I'm going to do him on a regular
maintenance
basis.
man.
Okay. Well, yeah. Then the
And,
maintenance
I'm gonna
man.
have this
Yeah. Then you
conversation.
definitely got to do
So
that.
if it was
Absolutely.
just exactly.
Okay.
Jody.
Were you in the service?
Okay.
No, I got that from school. That's my granddad. I told y'all. Man.
But if it's just a one night stand, then
Yeah.
yes.
Right,
But
right.
if it's something that's ongoing, you're gonna have to have that conversation
Oh,
because
absolutely.
it gets boring after
Yeah.
you're just kind of doing the same thing unless you know
Yeah.
what's going on with each other.
Absolutely.
Take it to the next
Absolutely.
level.
Right.
And make sure you understand what that person likes and what they don't like.
Right.
Because I can
Right.
turn you off because I'm doing what you don't like, and you're like, okay, you don't know what she's doing.
Right.
Leave it alone.
Right, exactly. Now, do you think that women suffer more from not telling their partner their needs, or men? Or is it kind of like an even, both of them are kind of suffering sexually?
Of course it's the woman.
women. I think women.
Yeah.
A man can
Yeah.
get off.
Yeah.
A woman, not necessarily.
Yeah.
And it's okay for a man to speak about what he wants. It's usually not always okay for a woman to speak up. Well, it's starting to change. But people, you know, speaking up about my sexuality, what I like and what I don't like. Really? So you have to empower yourself to get to that point. So we do. Because our orgasm is so much harder to get to. And so they think that, so to teach them what you like and what you don't like, but also understanding your own body is going to be important.
When
Yeah.
you understand your own body, that orgasm can be a little bit simpler to get to, and that's what I talk with my clients about. When you really start to explore, and I do some of those same exercises, you know, to try to match it up. So when they've come back and said, you know, I've tried that. And I've experienced that orgasmic pleasure that, you know, we discussed in session prior. So once they, and I even know for myself, you know, once I started to know me, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
You would be surprised how many
Yeah.
women who have not had orgasm. And I'm going to tell you, when I had my first orgasm, personally, I was like, wait a minute, I've been cheated. Because, you know, you're satisfied as a woman, but you never know until you have that orgasm. And if you don't understand your body,
Right.
even if you read everything, if you don't really understand your body, it's hard to even tell somebody else how to get
Right.
you there.
Right.
And you can also talk to your man, you know, to help him, show him, put his hands where
But what
they
if
need
some
to
men
be.
don't like that? What if some
They don't like what?
Because what if some men don't? And I'm saying this because there are some men out there that they already have like this routine. They already have this way
snap
of
out
doing
of it.
stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they may just want to just stick with that.
And so for that man in particular, if I was the woman in that case, I would say, okay, tonight it's all about you, and I'm going to show you what I can do for you. And then I would teach him some of those things. I think, you know, some men, yeah, they might like to be controlled, but if a controlling man is controlled, he's like, wait a minute. This is going to take me to another level.
Look at Fat Pimp.
I've been quiet for a minute, man.
I've been quiet for a minute. What's going on?
I'm soaking like a sponge.
So I think that when you start to take control, they'll allow you to do that. But you have to do it in a subtle way so that they feel more comfortable with it.
Right.
And if it's during the act, I mean, what's, you know, taking his hands and just, you know, stroking and allowing him to just, you know, and then when you let his hands kind of rest in that area that really gets you off and kind of non-verbally letting him know that this is a stimulating area for me, absolutely.
So, ladies, you gotta let them know.
I think I agree with them.
So you would, I mean, that would be okay for you if a woman kind of took charge. And
If it was a woman I was into.
Yeah.
When it's a woman you into, you got to do whatever to please them.
Yeah.
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 Stress free.
See?
Keep it stress free at the house.
Yes. Yeah.
But the woman has to understand her body because we have a couple of orgasms that go on. So, you know, and we know that's the direct or indirect stimulation of the clitoris. And we know it's the G-spot. So the clitoris is going to be outside and the G-spot is going to be inside. But you also have, and not many people have experienced, the uteral orgasm, which is
what?
a uteral.
I've never heard of that
I
before.
know. Not many people have it.
I learned a new word today. Explain what
Yeah,
this
new
is.
word alert.
It's called uteral orgasm.
New word alert.
Uteral orgasm. Explain to me. Let me get my phone. Here it is.
Yeah.
So it's usually when the uterus is then stimulated
Okay. From inside.
from inside.
Okay.
And it takes a little longer, but the orgasm is usually a whole body orgasm because it starts from the inside and
What?
goes out. Yeah.
You can do this?
Yes. Now, not a lot of people. I've not heard a lot of people who are very experienced in it because it's really hard. So if it's hard for you to have an orgasm through the G spot, it's going to be really hard for you to have an orgasm through the uterus. But yeah, it can happen.
Wow.
Isn't that
You gonna
deep?
try it?
Wow. Wow.
Now, go Google that. Go Google
Yes,
that.
I'll Google that one.
Damn right. We're going to try that.
So
Yeah.
you have to. So the easiest is the clitoris. We already know that,
Yeah.
but understand that the clitoris is the not only that little bump that we always go to, but it has legs. So any stimulation of that is going to cause the orgasm. So whether it's the finger, the tongue, the penis, whatever it is, the toys, that's going to cause the orgasm.
Yeah, and I have clients that experience orgasms in different areas that we're not even talking about. Yes.
Explain.
Yeah,
You viewers tuned in right
yeah,
now.
we need to.
Viewers
What
listening.
do you mean, like different areas? 'Cause I thought it could only come from one.
No, you can. Maybe sucking of the nipples can just really just get you off, and you're good. Just something like that.
Oh, okay,
just
by other stimulation.
Yeah, other
Okay.
areas of the body can just get you off. So,
Wow. Do you feel like that person that is able to do that is more sexually heightened?
yes.
Are they on a?
Yes.
Because I think of
Again,
sexual
it's-
levels kind of like when you have like yoga and they open the chakras. You know, is that kind of like what it is?
I'm not familiar with yoga. So.
Or like if you're meditation,
Okay,
right?
okay.
And you they say you open their chakras, and there's different levels
Oh, okay.
to meditation.
Okay, yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
sexual is sexual appetite or sexual, how you are sexually, is that kind of the same? Would you
Yes,
agree?
because there have been experiences where people have not even been touched and can go into an orgasm by just their thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
So
I had a woman
yes.
tell me that when I walked in the room one day.
Oh yeah.
She had her legs start shaking.
So
I'm bullshit.
Yeah, you remember the girl in the 5 Heartbeats movie when she was
Yeah.
sitting there twitching and going? I'm
How
like,
did that happen?
whoa.
I want to learn how to
She
make
was
a woman have an orgasm when I touch
Having a
her.
good time by herself in that audience, honey.
Yeah. I need that juice. Whatever juice he was drinking, I need that shit.
Shout out to Nancy Montgomery, who's watching us on Facebook Live right now.
that's my girl.
If he cares about
Yep.
pleasing the woman, he will be open to direction.
yes,
Yeah.
that is so
I told
true.
you, so
Yeah.
if you ain't got no ego, like,
Yeah.
if you trying to please your woman, it's one thing. A random, nah, maybe not. But
Hi, Nancy.
Somebody-
Ohio.
hey, shout out to Sky. Sky, she tuned in.
Hey, Sky.
Sky Life, Sierra, she tuned in. Michael Cooper, what's up, everybody?
Alrighty, if you're just now joining us, we want to remind you that we do have this Get in the Game gift pack. The game pack that we will be giving away at the end of the podcast. So we will be asking you a question from tonight's podcast. So make sure you continue to tune in. All right. Okay. So let's see. I wish y'all had some questions. If y'all are on Facebook, feel free to ask our sex therapist questions. You have questions?
This one was a little random. Somebody hit me up earlier and said,
Okay.
It was about why is there so many down low men in the city of Dallas, and we live in an open society now. This I wasn't gonna ask that. That was a girl on my timeline.
Okay.
I'm gonna shout
Why
her
is
name
there
out.
so many
Down low men, and we live in an open society where
Wow.
you should be able to be whatever it is you want to be. Why is there so many people keeping it a secret?
That's the $1 million question.
I think some men are really ashamed at some point to come out, and they still want to dabble in having female relationships. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want to lose that because I don't know about y'all, but as women, once we kind of find out that, then we're pretty much you're pretty much done. We shut down.
Yeah.
I've go ahead.
I've actually had someone I was talking to about this very thing, and he was a gay guy who has a couple of kids and all of that. And so we had this conversation. I said, why are there, I asked that same question, why do you all just not be with men and leave women alone? And he was like, because it's the stigma. He said, we don't want to be judged. We still want the facade of that, quote, normal life, you know, to have that wife, that woman, but yet, you know, we're attracted to men, and so that's what we enjoy doing. I said, I get that may be what you enjoy, but the selfishness behind it is just out of control. It's out of control.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
I say, come on out the closet, man.
yes, because you're taking away my ability to make a decision for myself. I don't want to be with a man who gets banged from behind. I want to be banged from behind.
Yeah.
Not you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ring that bell for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
back
yeah.
action.
Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah, ring that bell for the back action.
You know what I mean?
But I think from a psychological aspect, that's why I feel.
I see you, Chrissy. We doing my bad. I mean, Chrissy, we answering your question right now about the down low brothers.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let me grab the camera so she can explain this.
I think that when we're talking about that population, it is a different psychological headspace that we as heterosexuals cannot understand. And so I really do have a soft place for them because and not because they're putting other people in danger, don't get me wrong, but when you come out in society, there are many periods where you're coming out. So you have to first come out to yourself, and if you're not feeling okay with coming out with yourself and you're not comfortable with that, you usually can't. So usually you come out to someone, after you come out to yourself, then you're going to come out to somebody that you feel like is going to be okay with it, and then you start to come out to other people and other people and other people. Because society will still judge you. You had 2 kids, you had this bomb job, and then you let this cat out the bag.
Voice, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Then
Don't get me wrong, I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
I totally agree. But just like a man going out and then cheating on you, if he would have gave me the choice, I would have had a choice.
Right.
So I think that for them, and I'm not making excuses, but I think that that's why they don't. Is it good? Is it good for anyone? No. Is cheating good for anybody? No. So I think that, that's the bigger picture. I'm not going to say just because you're on the down low, you're totally wrong, because morally everybody has made a bad choice in their lives.
Right.
And we have not been totally honest with people. So,
True, but I just feel that holds a weight because it's a plague in our community. I just feel like it's just taken over.
What's the plague? I'm sorry.
The down low and coming to women, the HIV. It's just.
But it's the same with men who are cheating.
I get that. I get that. But this here is just. It's just a thorn in my side. I'm sorry. It's no other way to look at it. It's just a thorn in my side. I just feel like come on. If that's the route you're going to be, don't involve women
and families.
Yes, don't and families.
Yeah.
Yes, don't involve that. For yourself. If you want to go to all these bathhouses downtown Dallas, fine. Bathe yourself away. But you know what I mean? But don't bring that dirty soap over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not interested. You know what I mean?
Okay. Look, I was going to elaborate. I guess we won't.
I mean, I just feel like these, and a lot of times, it's so prevalent. Women are starting to accept it now. Starting to be like, well, you only did it that one time. No.
Yeah.
Because then they still continue to. We kind of feed the behavior a lot of
Or
Mm-hmm.
times.
turn the blind eye to it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. All right, what's up to Sky? Her question is there a difference in the way men climax based on race?
What?
That's an interesting question. Yeah.
I'm going to let the 20-year veteran get that one. Because from what I see, they all do what they do. I mean,
I don't think that there's a cultural basis, just like it's not a cultural basis based on if you're black, you're going to have a big dick. I mean, so I think it's
Oh,
just...
yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
I mean,
What was you going to say? What you gonna say, Monique?
So I think that, no, I don't think it's racially... Get it, girl, get it, girl.
We promote that out here.
Alrighty, if y'all have questions, if you're joining us on Facebook Live, we're here standing by, taking your questions for our... Get them in. We only have a few more minutes left in the podcast, so I definitely want to get to y'all's questions. Okay, so let's... What's your question? Step to the mic. Yeah, step to the mic.
I wanted to ask about squirting.
What about squirting?
Is it pee?
No, they said they tested the substance and they said it's not pee.
Okay.
Cool.
You satisfied with that answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had that in my head. I was kind of, I've always wanted to know
the
that.
last thing.
Well, let's see. Is there any more questions? We're taking your questions, so hit us up on
And just so
Facebook,
you know,
but-
it comes out to two different holes.
Yeah, right. That it
Pee comes out of one hole and the squirting comes out of the vagina. I mean, so it's two different holes.
women are so magnificent. Yeah, it is a lot of complexity
All right, you
to
got a
us.
question on yours. It says, my dude Stefan Royal says, my wife said, which birth control method is best? LOL, we on baby number 2.
Looks like the withdrawal might not be it.
Yeah, the withdrawal is definitely not working for you, Stefan. What would you suggest?
I would say talk to your
Talk to your
gynecologist.
Make sure you don't have any reactions to different things. You know, it could be the pill, it could be the patch. You got to make sure you talk to your doctor about that one.
Yeah, so y'all, whenever y'all go in and have that baby, y'all make sure y'all talk about birth control on your way out.
Well, easiest is to get the man.
You see that question with Nancy?
Nancy.
I like that one. I really like that one.
Shout out to Nancy Montgomery, who says, do you feel there's a double standard between women who have experienced with other women compared to men who have experimented with other men?
I agree.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
It's more accepting for a woman to be with a woman than it is for a man to be with a man.
The double standard is real.
Thank you, Nancy.
You see how we already talked about the down low men, and we were
Yeah.
like,
But
so-
if you was to
and
go
that
home-
Pimp over there smiling about the
If your woman was to come home and say, hey, I see this chick, you know what I'm saying, that I want to get at, it would be totally acceptable. Would you have a
We're
problem?
going to flip them.
I don't personally, I've had more men ask me, have I ever been with a woman? I'm like, do I throw off something like that for you? But more men ask me about that. Now, if I would have asked them, you ever been with a man?
Fuck no.
See?
Yeah.
You get that. And I'm like, well, why am I throwing off something that says that's something I want to do?
It's just society now, you know.
I think
Yeah.
they're just more curious.
Yeah. But that's the question we have to ask nowadays.
Yeah, you do.
The
You do.
layers are
Oh,
much thicker.
definitely.
You got to ask, do you even like black women now? You got to ask, do you like us? You know?
Yeah.
Do you like men or women? You got to ask. Are
Yeah.
you married? What's going on?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
A lot of it got to do with your upbringing, too, I think, for me.
I do.
Like, with me, like, we come from an era where, like I said, man, that homosexuality stuff just wasn't tolerated around my grandparents. You know, and it wasn't had nothing to do with the church. It's just that my granddaddy was just straight. He had multiple wives, multiple families and shit, you know what I mean? Like,
Really?
that don't make him no better, but that's
Yeah.
just how we was raised. So, like, when I see the stuff that's going on now, I used to be kind of like, man, I don't want to see that shit. But now I'm understanding, like, you got to accept it because it's part of the world now. You know,
Yeah.
I went to L.A., 2 street niggas on
On the corner?
swear to God.
Really?
Let's start. And I'm in a restaurant like, nigga, do y'all see this shit? And everybody in there is like,
what street was you on?
man, it was in Hollywood. I couldn't remember what street we was on. But it was,
Sunset?
nah, hell no. No. It was like just a regular restaurant. And they doing it. I'm like, nigga, do y'all see this? And everybody's like, bro, calm down, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this
Yeah.
is LA, bro. Like, let it
I'm
go.
from LA. I don't like that.
I learned my lesson. In Texas is a little different.
Texas is different,
Yeah,
I
man.
will say.
This is a little more conservative.
Very,
man, but-
very much conservative, and I didn't realize how conservative we were until I left Texas and went to other places. And didn't realize how conservative I was until I went to other places. So yeah, it's definitely a lot different. Shout out to Mary Esther, who says, when the libido is low and hormones are all out of whack, how can you fix it?
You need to go to your
Your
doctor.
doctor, you definitely, because you could have a sexual disorder going on, and sexual disorders are recognized. So you definitely need to talk to your doctor about what's going on. You could have a lot of factors such as stress, or maybe baby, you got a new family. Anything could be going on that's causing you to feel like your libido is less. So just a lot of environmental factors could be going on. So definitely get with your doctor and
you
talk
recommend
to
your
him.
general practice doctor?
Yeah, you can talk to your general practice doctor about it.
The
Yeah,
libido is
yeah.
really, really, really interesting because she's right. It could be environmental, but it can also be physical. So that's what you want to first. Then once you rule out the physical with your gynecologist, whichever one you want to go, then you would go to a therapist, because then if it's psychological, because anything can cause your libido to go. It could be the depression, it could be overworked, it could be just not feeling pretty. It could be many different things that impacts your libido and your hormones. But the hormones are really the big thing. If your hormones are affecting your physiological imbalance, then you definitely want to get that taken care of. That's why when you talk about people with diabetes and hypertension, those kinds of things, those things will affect your sexual experience. So definitely getting those kinds of things taken care of is going to be beneficial.
All right, shout out to Brittany Nicole, who asked, should threesomes be okay in relationships?
It depends on. We go back to your boundaries.
Go back to communication.
You go back to boundaries and your communication. And that depends on the individual themselves.
Okay, so you definitely have to have that discussion with your partner.
Yes, if you're okay with it, as a therapist, a lot of times they will ask me what I think, and I try my best not to give what I think, but I will say to my clients, understand where your level of comfort is not where I will go. Okay, so try to put yourself in the position of saying, okay, I can do A, B, and C. My D is not where I'm going. So try to put yourself in the mindset of how far are you willing to go, and understand that for yourself.
Because threesomes can go wrong.
Exactly.
A lot.
Threesomes can
Someone
go wrong
always
because you
feels
could think that, okay, this is going to be a good idea, it's going to be fun, and then when you're actually in the act, it's not what you thought it was going to be.
I've had many people in
clients,
counseling for just that reason.
Yes,
So
and I've had people in counseling because they had a threesome relationship going, it was going good, and all of a sudden he started having true feelings for the party. She's not happy with it now. All this jealousy was going on, and they end up getting a divorce.
Right.
So,
or he was bigger than me, so then I was intimidated, and those kinds of. So it's a whole. It's a lot.
Wait, what
But
you
I
mean?
will
Go
say-
ahead. Time out. What you mean? You said he
I
was.
knew he was gonna
wait,
catch it.
you said he was bigger than you. He felt intimidated.
So I had a client that was 2 men and a female.
That's not a threesome to a man.
Is what?
That's not a threesome to a man.
see, that's a double standard.
That's a train for me.
Yeah, that's a
That's a flip session. When I came up, that was considered a flip session. That was a flip session. Me and my partner was like, if I had a girl at the house, like, bro, she with the shits. Like, come on. That's a flip session.
That's
I don't-
threesome.
but-
Call it
Now I'm learning. See, I'm okay. Hey.
It's not always a train.
But I understand that. Listen, I'm open to all sexual fun and games. But at the end of the day, I've had this come to me before, and I had.
Would
don't
that
know.
make you feel uncomfortable?
I can't say yes or no because I'm at the point in my life.
When all three is involved.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm at the point in my life now where I don't know what I try. I don't know what I try. I'm like, fuck it, come on, turn up. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I can't say yes or no.
I think the moral to the story is you definitely have to have the conversation with your
Right.
partner before you decide to have a threesome and find out what you're like.
And set the
Monique
rules.
said.
Set the rules.
Yeah,
Yes.
and stick with the rules. Because that could go
No
bad
extra
too.
relationships outside our relationship. I mean, outside our sessions.
Right.
That's to me, that's the best.
But if you that's my opinion.
Okay.
Leave it alone.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
We got that cleared
All
now.
right, we got that cleared up. Let's see. Shout out to Blythe Whitaker that just
She didn't want to know what could he do to last longer in the bed.
shout out to Tim who wants to know what he can do to last longer in bed.
I got nah,
You got
I'm a 700. Wait, y'all got questions? I mean, answer for that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, we're interested to know what you have to say.
Yeah, let me see what you have to say. Then I'll
so,
throw
it
my
just
2 cents
depends.
in.
Like for me, like, you know, my go-to is some hydrocodones, you know what I mean? Like hydrocodone. I'm just telling you, I'm just keeping it 100, man. If you're going out with your lady, having a good night, a couple drinks, man, I don't promote drugs, but hey,
Masturbation could help with
like, that don't sound like that's a good thing, though.
man, for me, it give you like an extra, at least, you know, some more time.
Okay,
It won't be no 26.
you're up there 26 strokes.
You forget, you lost in the sauce, man. But nah, I don't know, man. I just like, you gotta find what works for you, man.
I think
Absolutely.
so. It's different for each person. I think that if you do masturbate as a man,
Yeah.
you can teach yourself how to elongate.
Yeah.
So you'll start, and then when you feel like you're about to come, you stop, so that you can teach yourself, and then it'll prolong it.
Does that shit really
that's
work, though?
It
It
does.
does.
And if you think about like when you know, like for a woman, when you think like that and stop,
real?
yeah, that'll help prolong it also.
I used to just masturbate if I go to a girl house. I know I'm.
So you can
That's
go
why I
longer.
said get your first
Get
one
the first
off.
one
That's
off. Yeah,
That way
you
she be
should.
like, she look at you like, damn, you ain't
Yes,
doing it.
yes. Get the first one off.
But sometimes I don't mind if he go. That makes me feel like I done something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
okay.
So if he,
True. See,
if
I
he,
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Some women
Yes.
get mad when you don't nut. They
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Exactly.
Because they feel like it's something wrong with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want you to be satisfied like we want to be satisfied.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm very easily
Absolutely.
satisfied, man. It's about the woman.
Shout out to
You don't want to be no bad story.
shout out to Joe who said one time. Shout out to you if you're joining us. We are almost out of time, but I do want to remind you that we have a question that we're going to ask and be able to provide. One of our Facebook friends, one of our Facebook live members, this get to ask that question. Okay, so we're gonna work on a
did we
question.
talk about the emotional part?
Yeah, I do want to. I would do.
Okay.
That's our last thing that we're going to talk about real quick because I want to talk about, women, especially because we are emotional creatures, and sometimes, when you having sex with multiple people, or if you or just one, there's an emotional thing, an emotional process that happens with women, and it's not. If you move on from one relationship to another, you're taking that emotional baggage from the last one into the next relationship, and that happens a lot. So I want our therapist on the panel to just talk about that a little bit.
I actually had a client just in my office last night who we referred to the phenomenon as soul tie. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But it's basically when you engage in sexual activity with the person and your souls are joined. And because we wrap around, we're more wrapped around.
Physically, we wrap around.
Physically, we wrap around. And so then emotionally, we wrap around. So a lot of women have learned to, and this is what my client is going through now, she has pretty much kind of, I guess want to say, self-taught herself to you engage with someone and you have really just kind of taught yourself not to be emotionally tied.
That seems hard for a woman to be able to do.
So in my book, I talk about this very thing, and people are able to do it in 5 different ways. Now, what I'm saying is there's still an attachment, especially if it's it's an ongoing sexual experience, but people do it in 5 different ways. One, they use diversion. So they either have a lot of men, a lot of women, or they work a lot, they fly out all the time. So it's so much diversion that they don't have the time to put into the relationship. Of course, we have the one night stand. The third one is they bed, but boy, you ain't got no job, you got 50 kids, and I cannot, be there with you. So I'm gonna count you out.
So they ain't got no job.
The other one is time limited, so it's the basic booty call. And the fifth one is having a business transaction. So it could be escorting, prostitution, or it could be, okay, he gonna buy me this Louis, so I'm gonna do this with him. So
Yeah.
there's still an attachment, because if you're doing it on a regular basis, there's going to be some kind of attachment, not necessarily emotional, but the fact that you want him there when you wanted him is an attachment, period.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and like with my client, she has detached her because it was married folks she was dealing with. So she's learned to kind of be with a married man, but yet completely detach herself from that emotional connection, because she was struggling with having emotional connections with them and soul tying with them. So she just wanted to, like, I don't want to feel this. So she kind of just, figured out a way to, like, numb herself.
Percentage of individuals who are detaching or not emotionally able to emote onto individuals, and usually in those predicaments, those are individuals who had trauma early on in their childhood and or have been sexually abused. And so those individuals do not attach. They have taught themselves to adjust to whatever trauma that's going on in their life. So there are that small percentage of individuals that do not emote, or they
Wow. Wow. That's deep, and that's a lot.
Deep.
But yeah, definitely women need to. What would your advice be to women who feel like they might have detached from their mate?
I think that when I think about counseling, let me just put my pub in about counseling.
Because black folks don't
We
want to
don't
go
go
to
to counseling. Now, we get our hair done, we get our nails done, we're going to look good, shoes going to be right, but we will not get our mental health taken care of.
But
now,
we
let me
fall
tell
up
you,
in that psych hospital. Shoot.
but that's in the crisis. But let me tell you this. When I think about counseling, I don't think of she's going to give me advice and she's going to fix everything and everything's going to be okay. That's not what counseling is. Counseling gives you a different perspective on your own current situation. And it's not for me to say, okay, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. What my job is to pull out of you what you need to do for yourself.
Right.
Because I am totally different. I am one of those individuals where I can't always handle myself. So me to be able to handle your stuff and myself, I can't do that. So when we go to counseling, that's what we do. So if you need a different perspective on something, if you just need an objective ear, if you really feel like there is some things that keep coming up, you keep cycling in the same kind of relationships, the same kind of bull crap, and you just need to get out this cycle, go see a therapist.
Yes.
It is confidential. You ain't got to worry about somebody judging you, and you are able to get that stuff out, because the more you get out of you, the better you are as a healthy individually mentally. And yes, when she's talking about going into the psych hospitals, that means you're
Right.
and we want to stop that process of you going into crisis, and anything can set that off.
Yeah.
So I encourage many of us to go to counseling, and even me. I think as a counselor, I go to counseling because sometimes I need to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
Because some of the stuff gets deep.
Yes.
And when you find yourself at that place, that's the first step that you can take. I mean, of course, we know that there's medications and other things that if we're dealing with some other deeper issues, but definitely I would take the first step to go to counseling.
Right.
And I'm not one of those therapists that hadn't been on that couch myself either, which is one of the things that my clients appreciate about me, someone that has been there and they feel like they can relate. And I always tell my clients that, when you come to therapy, it's not meant to make you feel like every day is going to be hunky-dory. It is not meant to make you feel like you're on cloud nine. I'm going to walk out here and every day is going to be sunny. There's going to be work that you're going to have to do. And my approach, I'm pretty direct, because I have high expectations for my clients. When you come into my office, I expect for you to do the work. I expect to see, when you come back week after week, we've got progress being made. If it's not any progress being made, then I take that personally. I'm like, well, where did I go wrong to where you did not meet this or that goal? So I take 100%. I'm in with my clients. You do the work, I'll fight with you.
Right.
As long as you're willing.
Right.
So.
And I think it's also a thing to point out, too, is whether or not you need to be in counseling or you feel like you might need some extra help, or even if, you don't have a problem, your sexual relationship Your sexual health is work.
Right.
Like, it's just like you put into anything else you do. Like you said, getting your hair done or going
Yeah.
shopping or whatever. Women, we have to really, up our game and put in the work, you know what I'm saying,
You
for
got
our
women
sexual
out there
lives.
putting in the work.
Yeah, they putting in the work.
And the other club I will also say is, even if you go to a therapist and you don't like her, interview your therapist just like you interview anything else, because it is sometimes a personality thing.
Right.
That you have to have some kind of connection. So just because you went to counseling once and it didn't work, please try again.
Yeah, try another. Because I get a lot of that too. I get clients that have been to 2 or 3 therapists before me, and they're like, "Oh, we finally got one we both like."
Yes.
Because I do a lot of couples counseling, and couples counseling is really my favorite.
Right.
A lot of therapists shy away from couples counseling because you got so much, going on, and so many different triangulated situations going on, just different dynamics affecting the system. So I enjoy it.
Right.
I enjoy it.
Well,
Let me
man,
get
y'all
the
make sure y'all
feedback.
hit up. Y'all couples, y'all make sure y'all hit up Miss Monique. Okay, we have one last question from our Facebook listeners, Facebook viewers here. KL Young, shout out to you for tuning in tonight. He says, I don't feel a woman cheated with a married person can detach themselves. I honestly feel they only go to get what they feel they deserve, meaning they feel this is the best that is going to be offered to them.
Well, you're reading a lot into it because you don't even know the woman, so that's really reading a lot into it.
Yeah,
in some situations it might be true, but not necessarily every individual.
With my particular client, that's what she's experiencing, having detached herself from that marital situation. And one of the reasons that she's detached herself is because she knows that it's not going anywhere. This man is not about to leave his wife. He's not about to give her that lifestyle, that she really wants. So she has taught herself
But
to just detach.
if you detach in that way, it's like, why are you even with the married man? Why
Because
don't you go
he's
find you
right.
a man?
He's
that you can
fulfilling
be with and
he's
love and care
fulfilling a
for.
need. He's fulfilling a need, and we don't know. I don't know her situation, but maybe she doesn't want to be in a relationship because it is too much for her. She doesn't want to give that piece of her because that is too sacred for her and too hurtful for her.
Well, she's not with that guy anymore. What she's done is be with guys that are married.
So she doesn't have to.
So she doesn't
Right,
have to.
It's
Yeah.
kind of dangerous, though. You think
That
about
is
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yes.
it's a lot of dirty people out here in this world, man.
And so, and the question, and when I get people come into my office and say things like that, because it makes me curious as a therapist, like, well, when you even first entered into this relationship with this married man, what did you think you were going to get? And what value did he present to you? You know what I mean? As far as adding value into your life. What did he demonstrate to you? What was it in your mind that said this is okay?
But for some women, it may just be because he's not available.
Whatever that void that they have, they're fulfilling. Period.
Definitely. Definitely. All right, well, we've gotten to pretty much the end of our podcast. And if you've been tuning in this whole time, then we have a special gift for you if you can answer this question. If you can answer this question. So for all my Facebook followers right now that are tuned in, I do have this Get in the Game a prize pack, which is full of a lot of adult goodies. So this is valued at $50. And the question is, what's the name of the... What?
The name of the show.
Oh, you have 2 questions. This is a 2-part question. Oh, well, we're gonna say we're gonna just do this one question instead of a 2-part question. What did we say Ezekiel Elliott did at the St. Patrick's Day parade? If you can answer that question, you will win this Get in the Game prize pack. We'll make sure that you get it. So the question is, what did we say that Ezekiel Elliott did at Saturday's St. Patrick's Day parade? If you can answer that question, then you will win the Get in the Game prize pack. I want to just say thank you, ladies, for coming by and being a part of Get in the Game. We appreciate you. Pat, do you have anything you want to close with? Or
No, I'm just... I think I might have to come to a therapy session. I just want to give it a try.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's good to just go, just to kind of see where you are, like a.
And I wanted to say
Somebody
sorry
said
to
to
Ty,
Hey,
because
no.
because he said sorry to us best, and I didn't want him to think that we were like saying what he was saying was wrong, but we
Right.
just wanted to give him a different perspective. So I
Okay, and that goes
apologize.
to Kay. I believe that was a
Who
question
was
that
that?
KL Young had.
Okay.
So,
KL
about the she judging?
Yeah.
Grab a lady titty, he
Yeah.
lifted up some girls.
Okay, yeah, they're answering the question here. So it looks like somebody said sexual assault, which technically it was. Let's see.
He lifted up some girl's shirt.
Yeah, lifted up some girl's shirt. Yeah.
Has Tim been on the
I'm
whole
I'm
show?
gonna let you because we have different. He exposed a girl's boob.
Lift
Oh,
up
I like that
I know
answer.
everybody.
I like that answer, Maria. I like your answer. Exposed a girl's
Yeah.
boob. This goes out to Maria Esther. Maria, I'll be. Please make sure that that you follow me. Follow this page. If you're not already following, so that I can get this Get in the Game prize pack to you. Congratulations to you, Maria. You have won our first Get in the Game prize pack. Go, Maria. Shout out to Valley of the Kings who hosted our podcast every week. We appreciate them. And make sure you tune in. We'll be back here next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And we're going to have Six Deuce. Do you know Six Deuce? Six Deuce is an artist out of Fort Worth that did a lot of work with Dr. Dre back in the day. He was actually on the Chronic. He was on Explosion.
Okay.
He was on the Explosion record. Classic Dr. Dre record.
Okay.
Classic
R.I.P.
Dr. Dre
Nate
record.
Dogg, R.I.P. Nate Dogg.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Nate Dogg. But he's going to be stopping by, Get in the Game next week, and we're going to chop it up with him. We're going to get some old stories about his days with Dr. Dre and what he's got going on now. So our special guest next week will be Six Deuce.
My homegirl Chrissy said we should do a segment about domestic violence.
Definitely.
And she said because she going through it. Somebody named Latoya Mockins did too. And
You know, and that one's really close to me because I have also been in a relationship that was not good, not the current relationship that I'm in, but
Shout out to Tim. He said, good show, guys. I like
Thank you,
Tim.
Tim. Thank you, Tim.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we will have to tackle that subject at some point. I definitely, and thank you, Christy. Is her name?
yeah, Chrissy. Yeah,
Thank you, Christy, so much for bringing ideas to the table. We definitely want to talk about anything that you want to talk about as our viewers. So continue to please let us know what you want to talk about, and we'll get it on.
Yeah.
All right.
She already cleared it up today.
Yeah. So thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all make sure y'all follow our Instagram pages. Fat, go ahead and give me your page.
Hey, y'all can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, I am Fat Pimp, IamFatPimp.com. King of Diamonds, we open 7 days a week. Come get you a nice lap dance. And the kitchen will be open this weekend. We get our kitchen fixed tomorrow morning, so kitchen will be open. Okay. And you know, I got music out, so just go to iTunes, just type in Fat Pimp and download it
You
out.
got some jams out right
I
now.
got some new shit, man.
You're going to have to let me play some on this
Hey,
podcast.
shout out to Rico Barino. That's fantastic, brother. We got my new single.
Yes.
And
that is so super dope.
I'm telling God gave me a second chance, so I'm finna run with it right now.
We definitely gotta have
Lift him up.
Yeah, we definitely gotta have some of the music on the show because I know that you won't charge me for copywriting, right?
Nah, man, we're a team right now. We building right now.
Monique, please let them know how they
Theresa.
can. I'm sorry, Theresa. Please let them know how they can get in touch with you.
BoutiqueTalkCounseling.com.
Simple and sweet. And Miss Monique.
Yes.
Look, the Bel Air is kicking in.
Monique K. Braggs. You can email me mkbraggs@therapist.net. www.newhorizoncounselingnrh.com. Ezekiel, go ahead and schedule that appointment. Remember, I do in-home therapy, so I'll come to you and we'll help you make better decisions.
So y'all do relationships too, right? Not just
Yes,
sex?
I do couples,
I do
individual,
mental-
family, all that.
I do depression, post-traumatic stress, anxiety.
Depression's kind of real now with blacks now, huh?
Yes.
Oh, it's very
Yeah.
real.
It always has been. It's
That's
just
something else we definitely
And
have to tackle.
it's really huge with black men. That is one of my little babies that
Soft
I just
spots, yeah.
yes, it's really because I just feel like black men they don't do what they need to do to make sure that they're okay. And
Right.
and it's a lot of black men suffering. And like I was talking about the psychiatric hospital, I also work at a psychiatric hospital, so I see. And when I say we represent, and it's heartbreaking. It's sad
Yeah.
to see it. I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
So
We definitely have to touch on that at some point
Yeah,
too, because that is a
absolutely.
very real
Yeah.
thing. Well, y'all make sure y'all continue to follow on Facebook. I've reached my 5,000, so now I have a page. So it's Kiki J Jones is this page, and then Kiki J's page. So make sure you do follow that page, and also follow Get in the Game. We're on Instagram. We are on Facebook. It's Get GETN, the letter N, THA Game. You can make sure you follow us on all social media. All right.
oh,
Well,
I forgot. Here's my direct number. 972-891-0147.
Okay.
Again, 972-891-0147. That's Monique K. Braggs.
We're going to make sure that we put that in the Facebook feed so that if they want to reach out to either one of y'all, they certainly can. So thank y'all for joining us and getting the game.
Awesome.
We will see y'all next Tuesday. Okay, we done. All right, bye guys. Next week we're going to have